Hello, friends. Welcome to Coding Garden with CJ. Welcome to code. We're going to write code today. What are we going to write? I don't know. We're probably going to start the show with either an algorithm of the day or a data structure of the day. Maybe we'll play some Clash of Code. Maybe we'll do a code kata or something like that, but we are going to write code. You can be sure of one thing. Code will happen. Welcome, everyone. It's been a long time since I've streamed on a Friday. Hello, hello. And thank you, Elon Musk, for that Twitch Prime sub. This is my break timer. Just getting started, but feel free to take a stretch. For me, it's a morning stretch. For you, it maybe whatever the day it is kind of stretch. We had a ton of support before the stream started. Thank you all so much. Danielle with that 5-month sub. Polar Fluke with that 2-month resub. It's been a while. It has been a while. Yeah, Danielle with the 5 months. Tim Sucks with the 2-month Prime sub who says, woo. Thite with the 9-month resub. Thank you very much, Thite. And then there was a Hype Train. Wally Oxen with the 4-month Prime sub. Wally Oxen with the 500 bits. Logic Husky with the 3-month Tier 1 resub. Your content and streams really help me pull out a bad fatigue with the world of programming. I can find joy in all that I work on again, and thank you for that, and I hope you continue to find success and happiness in all that you're passionate about. That's a fantastic message. Thank you very much, Logic Husky. And I'm glad I could bring you joy. I do my best, you know? And I'm glad you could get something out of it, so that's great. Shot in the Dark. Just Prime sub. Back again. What else happened? Elon Musk, we mentioned all these. Photo Al, I guess I missed that with the 4-month resub. Thank you very much. I appreciate you all. I appreciate you. All right, we're gonna, like, usually if you're used to the stream, if you've been here before, hello Bob, welcome. If you've been here before, you know that we usually start with like saying hello and stuff like that. We're gonna jump right into it though. We're not gonna waste any time. We are going to write the code. So I'm gonna do a quick poll. What algorithm or data structure of the day? Hey, awaited. Thank you for the 100 bits. So what I was thinking is we could implement a stack. And Funny Boy Rocks, thank you for that resub. And Julian with the resub. So much is happening. Funny Boy says, thank you for making wonderful streams and videos. Julian says, it's been ages since I saw you. It's been ages since I saw you too. Yeah, and we have 2 focus modes which we'll use. So we could implement a stack from scratch, which is a data structure. What else could we do? We did binary search one time. Let's just do a linked list, possibly a linked list. And let's pick like one more non-data structure, like an algorithm of some kind. Bob! The Prime resub, linked list. Have we done bubble sort before? Oh, we're gonna use JavaScript. We mainly use JavaScript around here. Priority queue. Pathfinding. Binary tree. Hey, Assaultsman, thank you for the Prime sub. Depth first search, the knapsack program. You know what? This is all we're gonna vote on. You have 1 minute to choose either a stack or a linked list, and we're gonna implement. You know what? I'll just add a queue. A stack, a queue, or a linked list. Choose one, and we're gonna implement it. Koozie with 100 bits. I'm doing pretty good. I got plenty of rest. I actually found Pokemon cards in stock at the stores yesterday for a moment. After, like, they were gone very quickly, so that's a good feeling. Yeah, I'll try a different language one day. I always say I'm going to try a different language, but we're trying to make this quick and informative, and if I were to try to use a different language, then it would take longer than that. It's good to see all your smiling faces, though. Can we get some smiles in the chat? Can we get some hearts in the chat? Thanks for being here. Link list will do. So yeah, if I just added that this morning. I think it was it Murdoch that suggested it? Hey everybody, smile. Murdoch suggested it. So if you redeem this, I don't know why you would, because they're my Pokemon cards. You don't get them. But if you redeem this, I'll open a pack of Pokemon cards live on stream. Actually, I need to edit this because there's one more expansion I can add to the list. Edit. Crimson Invasion. I forgot I had some packs of that. Okay, great. Oh, somebody redeemed it. Okay. Well, great. We're not going to do that right now. We have 3 focus modes on the board, so we're going to use these 3 focus modes to implement a... What was the winner? I think it was linked list, right? Yeah, we're going to implement a linked list with... Wait, was that 4? Was that 3? I can't tell anymore. We go here. And hey, Julian, thank you for the 100 bits. We have one. Wait, I can filter, right? 4. We have 4 focus modes. What is 4 times 8? Someone help me out with that. DS Legends, thank you for the hydrate. Today we're drinking passion fruit La Croix. And shot in the dark, cheers. Wait, does that make 5? We'll do 3. We'll do 3. And thank you for the stretch, DS Legends. 42? 32? We'll just do 3. What's 3 times 8? 24? 24. I can math. All right, so here we go. And also, we're gonna make this YouTube content. So, if you didn't know, I recently reached 100,000 subscribers on YouTube. Look at that. And my silver play button is in the mail. I reached out to the YouTube support and they're sending it to me, so that's great. But here's the thing. I haven't uploaded like a quick short content in a while. It's all been like live streams. So we're gonna turn this linked list implementation into a YouTube content. Yeah, so spam the content emotes. Let's go. All right. Hello, friends. Welcome to Coding Garden with CJ. In this video, we are going to implement a linked list from scratch. We're going to talk about what a linked list is, and then we're gonna write it. We're gonna write some code that does it. Now, I have not prepared at all. The chat has voted on what we're gonna do, so I'm gonna search Wikipedia for linked list. Let's see what we can find out about it. Oh, hey, it's Wikipedia's birthday. Happy birthday, Wikipedia. In computer science, a linked list is a linear collection of data elements whose order is not given by their physical placement in memory. What just happened? Some sort of alert happened? I don't know what that was. Did people hear that? I heard that. Whatever. Okay. It's a data structure consisting of a collection of nodes which together represent a sequence. Fantastic. Let's get some code going. So, algorithm of the day, that's a thing. And we're going to make a directory for linked list. And we'll open this up with VS Code. Content. Okay, let's just create a file for now, index.js, and let's write some stuff. Now, if we look at that definition, it's a data structure consisting of a collection of nodes. Now, let's actually just start off with a node. So we need something to represent a node. And I guess, you know, since we're here, we'll use object-oriented programming. We'll use separate files. So let's literally I was gonna say, we're gonna create a file called node.js. Now, just to be clear, I'm gonna call this a linked list node.js, because this is not node, this is a linked list node. Okay, so, I'm gonna create a class called linked list node. So this class is going to represent a node in our linked list. Now, what does a node have? If we look at the Wikipedia definition, yeah, in its most basic form, each node contains data and a reference to the next node in the sequence. So our linked list is just going to be a linked list of numbers. It's going to be super simple, but we'll have a constructor for this, and this will take in let's call it data, just like they do on Wikipedia. So this node has data, and I guess do we pass in the reference to the next one, the previous one? I guess we don't. I don't know. We'll figure this out as we go. But let's just start here. A linked list has data, and so the constructor takes in data, and we're just going to add it as an instance property. So I'll just say this.data equals data. And what that will do is that will allow us to create a bunch of instances of nodes. Each of those nodes will have data in them. And let's just do that in this file here. So I'm in index.js. I'm going to import in this linked list node right here. So we'll call this linked list node. And we're going to require in the file we just created, linked list node. Now, because this is a class, we can create instances of it. We need to export it though. So we'll say module.exports equals that linked list node. So this exports this class. This file brings it in, and now we'll create an instance of it. So let's just call this some node, and we're going to create a new linked list node. And the constructor we created takes in data, so we're going to pass in some data here. Let's say this linked list node has the number 42. Great, we have created an instance of a node. Let's just log that out like this, and let's see what happens. I'm going to run this code in the terminal. There we go. So we have a linked list node that has the data 42 inside of it. Let's create another node. Let's do like some other node. And this is going to have the value 13 inside of it. And then here we're going to log some other node. And if we run this code, now we have two different nodes. Now these two nodes are totally unrelated. It's just a little node. It's got a little bit of data inside of it. I am going to attempt, again, something on the fly that I did not prepare. We're gonna maybe draw a diagram. Let's see. Let's go over here. That is surprisingly in the center. And it works. Okay. So we'll use a different color though. That was a little bit hard to see. Well, let's think about it like this. So we have a node, right? We have that sum node. We'll look at a node and we'll think about it as just like a little box, right? And that box has a value inside of it. So this node has the value 42, and then we created another node and that had the value 13 inside of it. Right now, these two things are totally unrelated. They're just in memory, right? It's two little nodes in memory. What a linked list does is it connects these nodes together. So basically, if we wanted to turn this into a list, we could say that this node points to this node. So the the next value, this is we'll get there. Let's get like a nice, yeah, there we go. Nice big arrow. So this node points to this node. And then if we created another node, so let's create a node with the value 7 inside of it. And we could say that this node points to this node. Great. Now we have a linked list. We have this node, which points to this node, which points to this node. And we could, yeah, nice arrow. Thank you. And we could iterate this list, right? Like if we know where the list starts, like the list starts here, we could go to that node and we could say, hey node, what's your next node? And it points here. And then we're like, hey node, what's your next node? And it points here. So this is a linked list. And then we could say that this is the tail, the thing ends here. I think people draw it like that. I don't know how to draw the beginning, but we could call this the head of the list. We could call this the tail. This is a linked list. Yeah. Well, focus mode isn't done. We just switched to the other screen. I don't know. Okay, so this is a linked list. So this is known as a singly linked list, right? Because each node links to each other. But you technically could have a doubly linked list. And what that would allow you to do is you could go to a node and say, hey, what node was before me and what node is after me? So if this were a doubly linked list, each node would actually have a link to the next and the previous, like this. And we could traverse in either direction. We're just going to work on a singly linked list right now, though. So let's take these two little nodes that we created and put them into a list of sorts. That's the wrong thing. We are here. Now, if we go back to the Wikipedia article, let's see if it says anything interesting. More complex variants add additional links, allow more efficient insertion and removal, etc., etc. A drawback of linked lists is that access time is linear. Yeah, we'll potentially talk about that, but you saw on the diagram, basically, if I wanted to get the value on the end, and let's say I don't have a reference to the tail, I would have to start at the head, I'd have to go to next, all the way to the end. So it's linear. I basically have to visit each node to reach the end. You can see this is how Wikipedia is drawing it too. Okay, so I think that's enough. Let's just write some more code. So we have these two nodes here, right? We want them to point to each other. So if what I could do is I could say some node dot next equals some other node, like that. It's just as easy as that. And then if I were to now log some node, and hey, Bogdanovich, thank you for the 1,000 bits. That's a lot of bits. So this is all I've done. I've basically added a new instance property to this node, to the one instance of the node. And let's actually say this.next starts off as null, right? So when you create a node, it doesn't know what the next thing is, but then it's possible to specify what the next thing is. So some node doesn't have a next, some other node doesn't have a next, but we say some node.next is some other node, right? And by default, this will have a next of null. So if we log this out, let's see what we get. Look at this. So we have the node. It has the data 42 inside of it. Its next property is a node that has the value 13 inside of it, and its next property is null, meaning we're at the end of the list. And if we wanted to do the same thing as our diagram, we could create one more, another node, and we put the value 7 inside of it. And then I could say, so some nodes next points to some other node, and then some other nodes next points to another node. And now when I log it, we go deeper and deeper. So we have a node up at the top that has the value 42. It points to a node that has the value 13. That points to a node that has the value 7. And then next is null. So we're kind of at the end. Great. So now you wouldn't want to do this manually all the time, right? So this is where we can create a class that kind of wraps and encapsulates all of this. So we have the node. Now we actually want a class for the linked list itself. So let's create a linked list. And this will be a class linked list. Wait, how's this work? Like that? Okay. And this has a constructor. And let's say, I guess I don't even, what properties does it have? I guess a linked list should know what the head is, so it should know what the first node in the list is, and it'll also keep track of the tail. Let's do this. And so by default, when I create a linked list, it doesn't have a head or a tail, but then I could have a method called insert that takes in some data. This insert method would create an instance of a node that has that data value. And then I could potentially see if we have a head or not and set it there. But hey, Mike North, thank you for that sub. We're getting ahead of ourselves. Let's at least just get this going. So I'm gonna export this. Linked list. Yeah, there's a lot of things happening in the chat. This list is sponsored by Zelda. Link? Get it? I apologize if I've missed your messages, but we're gonna get this. Okay, so we have this linked list. Let's bring it in over here. And actually, we now no longer even have to know about the linked list node. We can just create a linked list like this. So I'll create a list called my list. It is a new linked list like this. Beautiful. If we log it, right now it just has nothing. It should have no head and no tail, right? So the head is null and the tail is null. But if I say I want to insert some data into the list, by default, this will just insert it at the end of the list. So I'll say mylist.insert. We want to insert the value 42. And now we need to write this logic. So over here, we need to check some things. So first of all, we create a node. Easy enough. Now, let's take a quick stretch. The list could have a length property. I'm not opposed to that. Sometimes linked lists have a method called like count or something like that, and that actually iterates the whole list to keep track of the count. But yeah, why not? Let's just say the length starts off as 0. I like that. So now head is null, tail is null, length is 0. Now to insert, if you think about it, the first time we insert into a totally empty list, that node should be the head. So I'm just going to do some checks here. So say if this dot head is not a thing, then I'm going to set this node to be the head. So this dot head equals that specific node. And so now, whenever we insert, if there was not a head, that node becomes the head. Great. And very similarly, like whenever, and actually we could just do this here. So if there is no head on the list, then this node is actually the tail and the head simultaneously, because there's only one of them, right? It's the head and the tail. So we can see that this linked list has a head and a tail, but it's the same thing. And we now need to increase the length anytime we insert. So we'll say this dot length plus equals 1, like that. So we can now insert data. Great. But now we need to handle the case where, what if there is a head? We actually need to take this node, set it to be the next of the tail, and then set that node to be the tail, right? So it should work like this. So we insert 42, and then we insert 13. But if we look back at our diagram, so first we started off with this. This is the head and the tail. If we're going to insert the value 13, we need to say that the head next now points to this new node that we created, and then this new node becomes the tail. So let's do that. that. Okay, so we can insert, and now we'll handle this here. So if there was a head, then what we actually want to do is we'll just say this.tail.next equals this node that I created, and then this.tail equals the node. So every time I insert a node, I already have a reference to the last value in the list, so I'm going to set its next value to be the node that I just created. And then I'm going to override the tail to be this node that I just created because it is now the tail. And just like that, we have insertion. So we can see that our linked list has a head with the value 42. Its next value is a node with the value 13. And because that node's next is null, that is also the tail. And we could insert all day long. So now we can insert the value 7. And so now we can see, and it gets more and more nested, so we can't actually see that logged. Let's just do this. We'll do JSON.stringify. We could also do like utils with a depth, but this is fine. So I'm going to stringify the list, so that way we should see the whole thing. So our head is a node that has the data 42. Its next is a node that has the data 13. Its next is a node that has the data 7, and then its next is null because it is the tail. The way I logged it here makes it look like this node with the value 7 is actually separate, but let it be known that it's a reference. It's not a copy. So this node right here, this next one, is the same one as the tail. And hey, Soft Dev, thank you for that sub. All right, we have a linked list. We can insert data. That's great. Let it be known. And actually, if we look at the length is right. So if we insert something else, like the value 9, and hey, Soft Dev with the 9 gifted subs. You're too kind. Oh, no, and then one more, 10 gifted subs. Thank you very much, Soft Dev. Much appreciated. And hey, Danif. Thank you for that resub. CJ is the real MVP. I appreciate you, Danny. Cool. So it works. What else do we need in our link? I think this is kind of it, right? I kind of just like hacked this together, but I mean, we're basically representing what's happening in this diagram in my code. We can insert. I mean, a lot of linked lists will implement like remove. I think it would be good. It would be good to implement remove from the list, so we can specify the index of the element we want to remove. Can I make it circly or doubly linked list? Let's do that first, right? Yeah, let's do that. I work at a company. Yeah, this is the first time I've streamed on a Friday in like months. Follow the tail? Oh, like the tail. Actually, you could, if you make it a circularly linked list, the tails next would actually be the head, because then you could just go in circles for days. But let's just make it a doubly linked list because that's easy enough. So I'll say this.previous is null. So when you create a node, it doesn't know what the previous is, and it doesn't know what the next is. So whenever we insert a node, if there was no head, same logic, that node now becomes the head and the tail. And it doesn't have a previous because it's the only one. But now, yeah, so here's the tricky part. Whenever we insert a node, we have to find the previous one to add it as a reference. So this.tail.previous equals the previous tail. There is not sufficient disk space to continue recording. Well, we can fix that. Sorry, everyone, just a second. Wow, some of my stream files are 10 gigabits. That's a lot of data. Okay. That's enough. All right. I've decided I'm not going to do this because I can't think about how I would do it, but let it be known it would be possible. I would essentially have to traverse the list going from next to next to next until I get to the next to the last one, and then once I have the next to the last one, I know that that is the previous. Let it be known that it's possible, but I'm not going to do it. But what we will do is, at least let's just show how we might actually iterate through this list. So we have this list. How do we iterate it? So let's create a for loop. I starts at 0. We'll say I is less than mylist.length. Node.previous equals list.tail. True. But what happens with the head? I don't know. I can't think through it, and I need to be done very soon. So I'm just going to show that now that we have this data structure, we actually can iterate through it, right? Because we have. Well, actually, it wouldn't. Can we do this with a for loop? We probably can. Yeah, we can do this with a for loop because we can say let the current node equals mylist.head. So we start off at the head, and then we're going to iterate up to the length, and then, yeah, we'll say I equals 1. So let's log out current node dot value, and then I'll say current node equals current node dot next. So we log the current, well, and it's not value, it's data. Plus equals 0. Yeah, you're right. That should be plus equals 1. So we log the current node's data, which is going to be the head, and then we go to the next one. So we'll say current node equals current node dot next, and then we log its data, and then we go to the next. And that should do it. And I'm Space Ducks. Thank you for that Twitch sub. Let's see. Will it work? I don't know. Is it going to error? Does anyone want to place bets? Is there a way we can place bets with channel points? Do any of the mods know? I've never done that. I feel like it's a thing that we could do, though. Yeah, I think I'll end with that, Tariq. Which basically, when and why would you use this? It's possible. Predictions? Where do I do predictions? Let's do it. Let's do it. We're gonna wager. You're potentially wager some of your points. Where do I do it? Is it in the dashboard? Seedlings? Slash in the chat. Prediction, okay. Hey, name the prediction. Will it work without errors? So if, okay, possible outcomes. Yes, it will work. No, it will error. You have 1 minute. Go. Wait. Yeah, and you can win channel points. Okay, here it goes. Let's go. Prediction started. Place your votes now, I guess. How does it work? I can't see it on mine. Win channel points if you make the correct prediction. Oh yeah, okay, I'll show the code again before you vote. So this is the code. So I have the list. I set current node to be the head. I iterate from 1 up to the length of the list. I log the current node's data, and then I set current node to be current node.next. Will this work? Wow, there are 22,000 seedlings for yes, it will work. 18,000 for no, it will error. This is fun. Wait, is that really a thing, Frozen Spray? You can't gamble invisible Twitch points? Doubting for the high return. I give it a 50-50. It's like a 50-50 chance though, right? I don't know if there's really any over under here, because I don't know. You could technically, someone could bet all of their seedling points. You could bet all of them, and so is somebody gonna write out the code and try and run it? X to doubt. Yeah, you could double up right now. You could basically double all of your points. Double or nothing. Yeah, I'm totally up for doing more predictions like this. All right, probably like 20 or 30 seconds left. This is basically a first try bet. Will it work on the first try? Because I haven't run this code yet. Well, it should. It should let us. What was I thinking? No, it should let you still vote, right? Can you change your vote? T13R is surprised that the length just works out of the box. Well, I added it, so at the end of the insert, I increment the length. All right, so people have voted. Let's run it. It works! I can't believe it works. Did we miss one, though? 42, 13, 7. Wait. Am I missing a value? Didn't I insert 4 of them? No, we're missing the number 9! Wait, okay, so here's the thing, though. Here's the thing. The vote was, will it error? It didn't say, is it correct? It didn't say, is it correct? So we're missing the number 9. So I actually think I need to go less than or equal to. And then, well, let's say it didn't error. It didn't error. No, it worked. The vote was, will it work or will it not work? Okay, how do I review predictions now? Okay, so 60% said, yes, it will work. 40% said, no, it will error. I think this is clear enough. It's clear enough. It wasn't, will it work correctly? It was literally, will it error? So, it worked. There you go. Congrats to everyone that gambled your points away. This is rigged. Okay. I think this is it for linked list. If you learned something, can you just give me a smile in the chat? Oh yeah, I think we'll end it with like why and where is this useful. I'm out. So a linked list is a type of data structure. Now you'll notice. Hey, look at all those smiles. You'll notice that we can we basically created this data structure to hold on to a list of data, right? Now, in your day-to-day programming, if you're a JavaScript programmer, to do something like this, you probably would just use an array, right? So you'd say, like, my array is this, and it has the values 42, 13, 7, and 9. This is a data structure that's just built into the language. And it allows you to do similar things, right? We can push into the array, we can splice it and slice it, all that good stuff. But you might think about, how is that thing actually implemented under the hood? And a linked list is another way of storing sequential, like linear data. Now, in terms of why you would use one over the other, typically in lower level languages, an array is, what's the word? Contiguous in memory for the most part. Sometimes it depends on where it's implemented, but for the most part, typically an array is contiguous in memory, and you have to know the length of the array ahead of time. So let's just think about that really quick. So if we have this array that we're trying to store with the values 42, 13, and 7, now this is, it's kind of like a little white lie because it varies on what language this is actually implemented in. I believe in JavaScript, I don't think it even works this way, but like in a lower level language like C or C++, if I wanted to create an array, first of all, I would have to allocate memory for that array ahead of time. Let's take a quick stretch. So yeah, it's a dynamic data structure. Basically, let's think like this. This is our memory, and our memory in our computer has a bunch of slots. With an array, typically you'd have to say, okay, because I want to store this array, I need to find some free space in memory with 3 slots. I'm going to allocate that, and then in those 3 slots, we're going to put the values in there, right? Great. Now, if I wanted to insert something into this array, like let's say I actually wanted to add the value 9, if this space in memory was free, technically I could just change the end pointer of the array to here and put the value 9 in there. But what if it's not? What if all of this memory is actually taken up? Typically what you'd have to do is you'd now have to find a free space in memory that has 4 contiguous spaces. And hey, unfair, thank you for that resub. So let's say this is down the line somewhere else in memory, and I find let's say this is taken, but I find that this 4 spaces are available, so I'd have to allocate this, and then I would have to copy the values over, 42, 13, 7, and then I can put that new value at the end. So in lower level languages, this is typically how an array works. It needs a contiguous space of memory, and if you ever want to change the size, you typically have to copy the whole thing to a space in memory where it has space. Now contrast that with a linked list where each node points to some other node. you'll notice that these don't have to be contiguous in memory. This next pointer can point to any memory location. So the way it ends up working out is, like, let's say I have, and again, is a gross simplification, but it's a way to think about this. So let's say that, and again, gross simplification, because in this memory, I'm able to store numbers. I'm going to say in this memory, I'm able to store a node in each of these little cells. But let's say I create a node. All I need to do is find one space for that node, allocate it, and then put the stuff in there. So we have that little box with the value 42, and then the next pointer, which is null. Now, I need another node. I can literally find any free space in memory. It could be anywhere. Like, let's do this. Like, let's say all this is taken up. But, oh, I found one. That's where I'm going to put this node with the value 13. And Termicus, thank you for the $5. Just watch my authentication tutorial. Let me read this donation. Thanks for that. Helped a lot, even though it was in view. Oh, you're very welcome. Okay, so I found a free space in memory. This is where we're going to put the value 13. And now this node, all it has to do is point to the memory location, right? It just says, hey, the next value is over there. So this is one of the benefits of using something like a linked list over an array. This is a dynamic data structure. The other thing is that I didn't talk about is like inserting into the linked list. So if I wanted to insert, again, like I want to insert a node between these two. And hey, awaited, thank you for the 100 bits. How does it work with garbage collection? Typically with a garbage collected language, if there are no references to that thing, it'll get garbage collected. So if I were to remove this next pointer, and nothing else references this object and like it's no longer in scope, it will potentially get garbage collected. Yeah, okay, but let's say I want to insert a node in between the two. All that memory is taken up, but I found one here. Let's say this has the value 8 in it. To insert this in between the two, I would basically have to override this next pointer, so I get rid of that one. I say that this one's next is this, and then this one's next is this. What's happening? Oh, Selvus with the 2-month resub. Thank you very much. So it's very dynamic in that nature, whereas with an array, if I wanted to insert a value here, I'd have to find contiguous space in memory. I'd then have to copy the values over and then put the value in. So this is one benefit of a linked list over an array. Now, what Hardik is mentioning right now is you have to iterate to the position, right? So that's a downside of this. With an array, you have instant access to anything you want. So typically with an array, there's a pointer that stores the starting location of the array, like the starting memory location. And then because you know the type of data that's stored inside of it, you can say, well, because I want the third item, I can take this starting location A, add 3 times the size of the data that I'm storing, and that puts me here, which is the value that I wanted to access. So you can just do a constant time, very simple math to pick out any value from the array. Constant time. Whereas with this linked list we implemented, if I want to get to the third element in the list, the only way to get there is to iterate. So it's a potentially an order in operation, because I have to start at the head, go to the next, and then finally I make it there. There's no way to randomly access the sum value inside of the linked list. In a traditional linked list, you could add something, you could add a mechanism for random access if you really wanted to. All right, I think I'm done talking about this. This is going to be a long YouTube video, and it's missing a lot of information. Thank you, Phoenix Rising. It's good. It's good to see you here, too. I would say search YouTube for linked list. You'll find 100 better videos, but I appreciate you all for hanging out with me and learning and all that good stuff. So what's the plus? That was what I talked about earlier. Basically, random allocation, I guess. And also, if you check out the Big O cheat sheet, this will show you certain data structure operations. So if we look at an array, access is constant time. Like I said, you just do a simple memory calculation, you can find any value in there. With the singly or doubly linked list, access is order in time, because we potentially have to visit every single node to get to a specific node. So this website is nice to compare and contrast the different ones. And when it Yeah, and so in our linked list we created, we're just storing numbers, but you could create a linked list that stores any type of thing. Yeah. Yeah, inserting at the beginning of a linked list is just as simple as inserting at the end. You just replace the head. Okay, I'm done. Thank you all for listening. I appreciate your attention, and thank you for voting and all that stuff. And this code will be pushed up somewhere. Okay, now we take a step back, and we say hi to everybody, because I've been live for an hour. That was way longer than I thought I was going to be. Thanks for coming to my TED Talk. Yeah, exactly. Awesome. So if you're new, and what's up, HCMMDR? Welcome from Brazil. We're about to say hi to everybody, but if you're new here, I'll show you. We have this fun little thing called the drop game. So in the chat, if you type !drop me, that will drop your avatar from the sky like this and like that. And if it lands in the garden, you'll get your name on the screen for a few seconds. So that's pretty fun. Let's see who's gonna do it. It's gonna be a tiny seedling. So the closer you are to the center, the larger your seedling will be. No big drops yet. Danielle with the tiny seedling. We got Chief Mustardo. That'll be a decent sized one. Who's that? Who's that? Nikajux. Good job. And Friniz. And Joseph. And Typhurius. Yeah, so you can drop throughout the stream. It's pretty fun. What's up, John? Welcome to the show. The other thing is you can customize your name in the overlay, and you can customize your messages. So you can see that John here has their pronoun set to he, him, his. They also have their team badge set to is that OpenSUSE or SUSE? And IMS has their team badge set to Python. We can see that Mr. Ben Coder has their country flag set to the United Arab Emirates. What else? Designer and Geek has the Norway flag with the view badge, and they prefer the pronouns he, him, and his. So you can do this as well. And what's up, Oliver Codes? You did catch a Coding Garden stream. You're here. I haven't seen Google.dev. What is Google.dev? Your Google developer profile. That's pretty cool. I'll set that up later. Okay, so yeah, so if you want to join a team or if you want to set your flag, here is all the information you need about that. To set your country, you can just do !country followed by your 2-character country code. It may work with the word Norway, but it's more likely to work if you do the 2-character country code, which I think is INO, like that, yeah. And once you do it, all of your messages will have that next to them. I actually haven't taken a look at State of JavaScript. I agree, Python is fun. I haven't written Python in a while, but it's a fun language. I like to look at it. We look at Python on Clash of Code. Cool. And then you can set your team badge. So if you go to the Font Awesome brand cheat sheet, which is linked in that command from earlier, I'll throw this in the chat. Basically, you can pick any icon from this webpage and then set that as your team badge. Hola. What's up, the hitchhiker? So if you go to that page, pick anything. I'm gonna go ahead and pick one. Let's see what will I pick? I'm gonna go with black tie. I'm feeling fancy today. So pick any one of these from this page, and then in the chat you can do !team followed by something from that page, and then all of your messages will have that next to them. And hello, Playco Live. Welcome to the show. Yeah, black tie. Oh, what's up, Chief Mustardo? We're the black tie gang. And thank you, John, for those hydrates. We probably got some other redemptions we need to do. Oh, we'll open a pack of Pokemon cards too. But thank you, Depapom, for the stretch. And T13R. And Sujandal, thank you. In Yaml, it's interpreted as false. Wait, what? And Mooley, thank you for that 3-month resub. And Tariq with the posture check. These were all from a while ago, but Tariq with the hydrate, thank you. Cheers. And John, thank you. Cheers. And we'll open up 2 packs of cards. Danielle, if you're still watching, sorry it took me so long, but we're gonna open the cards now. But Danielle, if you're still watching, let me know which pack you want me to open from which of these expansions. Crimson Invasion is also an option. I thought I edited that. And then Turtle Monkey, let me know as well. Oh, no equals yes, false equals true. What? Rebel Clash. Okay, I'll open one Rebel Clash for Turtle Monkey. Wait, was it? Vivid Voltage. Great. Okay, we'll open. So we're gonna open one Vivid Voltage and one Rebel Clash. After I finish telling people how to use the overlay. Okay, so the last thing, not the last, another thing you can do is set your pronouns. So in the chat, if you do, well, you don't have to do this. I'm gonna do this. You'll be able to see it. What pronouns lets you know what pronoun you can choose from. Just pick anything from this list. She, he, they, they, ko, nun, they, hi, it, one, em, or yo. And then to set your pronouns, you just do ! pronoun and specify one from that list. So for me, I prefer the he and him pronouns. So if I do that, now my messages will have that set on there. Is the stream starting now? I mean, we've been live for a while. Oh, no, it's good to hear, Mooley. Yeah, there are quite a few coding boot camps out there. I would suggest do a lot of research. I would say talk to as many people as you can in terms of like people that have gone to that boot camp. The thing is, everyone's experience at a boot camp is different. So get as much information as you can about them before choosing one. Oh, thank you, Tint. And lastly, you can set your status. So you can see that the Omni King has their status to mHeartJ. And Rami has theirs set to best error is the one which doesn't show. I agree. And Roger Voth has their status set to crying. Hope you're okay, Roger Voth. Set status. Yeah, so if you want to set your status, you can do ! set status, followed by your status. It should be appropriate. It should be safe for work. If it is inappropriate, you will potentially be banned. You will be timed out by the mods, potentially banned. Be nice. Just be nice. Set status. Just a guy with way too many Pokemon cards. And so once you set your status, that'll appear below all of your messages. Great. I'll be back in exactly 60 seconds time to open up 2 packs of Pokemon cards. And then we'll do a round of Clash of Code. So if you haven't heard of Clash of Code, you can visit codinggame.com/Clash of Code. Actually, we need to say hi to everybody too. I keep forgetting that. We'll do a lightning round of hellos when I come back. Somebody remind me. But if you want, in let's say roughly 15 minutes time, we're going to play a game of Clash of Code. So you can go ahead and sign up on that website to join us with that. Okay. I will be back in 60 seconds time. See you soon. Hello, I'm back. Hi. All right, so I went and grabbed the Pokemon cards. They are here. These are my fingers. And after we say hello to everyone, we're going to open up a Rebel Clash for Turtle Monkey and a Vivid Voltage for Danielle. Well, I mean, they're my cards. They're not for them, but they requested that I open them to add to my collection. And let's just go ahead and say hi, welcome in all the peoples. If you would like me to say hello, just say hi in the chat. We're not going to filter the chat. Just spam the chat. Well, don't spam it. Give me at least an opportunity to try and say hi. The Hitchhiker. Well, you show up that color if you're not following. But what's up, BF Moritz, and Guan the Third, and Sequel Gordster, and Kuzi, and End of Parasite, and Fight, and Nubin, and Wolam, and Absolutely Baked, and Alex Samate, and Arnaj, Dynamic Voyage, how's it going? Hello, Frostmonk, and Alex Cat, and Hans, and John, and Black Bunny, and Ims, and Awaited, hello, GW1, and Trancy, and X Palma, and Danielle, Hayo, and hello, Ambrosi, and Jay Getachu, hello, what's up, Strictly Dub, and Roger Voth, and Rafik, and Placo Live, and Navi, and Alex Mate, and Tand, and Coolant, and Tuzo, and Hardik. First time in the stream, well, welcome. Hello, Dinafarb, and the Hitchhiker. You may have unfollowed and then refollowed. It's possible, I don't know. And then it caches for 30 minutes, so might take some time. And what's up, Oliver Codes? And hey, Chloroller. Thank you for that Twitch Prime sub. And hello, Eddie. What's up, Kilo, and Elana, and Dev M, and Chief Mustardo, and Drunk Time Lord, and Ims. Yeah, well, spam it, but don't spam it. And hello, Alana and Arnoobj. Next semester starts in 4 days. I guess a lot of people that are in university are potentially starting soon. Good luck to you all. Best wishes. Best wishes. You're gonna do great. Hopefully. What's up, Quayali? And hey, I'm Andrew with that 9-month resub. Just realized my sub expired. Rip my steak. I was gonna say it says streak, but rip Andrew's steak. Can we get some cows in the chat for Andrew's steak? It's all right, buddy. I appreciate the 9 months of support. And what's up, DML Reverse, and Tansy, and Rick, and Chloroller, and Kishan, Krishana Resh, Paul, and Mark, and Dorthief. Hello. What's up, Sobus, and Yosef, and Funny Boy. Oh, you're a new follower. Okay, yeah. So, within 30 minutes time, it will turn to the correct color. And hello, Prawin. And Avi. Thought of making a realistic driving game in which the streets are taken from Google Street View. That'd be great. I don't know if anybody's done that before, but it seems like it'd be a cool experience because you could drive basically anywhere in the world, right? Prawin, I didn't miss you. There you are. What's up, Counter-Strike only? And LQR, it works. Yeah, what's up, Nubin? May the odds be ever in your favor. That's a good thing to say. May the odds be ever in your favor. Because everything is random. My first name is CJ. You can call me CJ. And what's up, Alex, and Tuned, and Foxy? Taking CS2. I guess that's like intermediate programming or something. Discrete structures. Brief calculus 2. A survey of rock music history. Oh, that's great. I did just music history when I was in university. It would have been great if I could have chosen the genre, but I learned all about, it wasn't music history, it was music appreciation. And I learned about history of music and stuff. And what's up, Friniz? Clear Hunch, how's it going? What's up, Kim Emarox? Thoughts on Bitcoin? I have a little bit in Ethereum that I put in a long time ago that I'm just going to leave there forever. So, yeah. My thoughts are, like, because it's so volatile, it's really hard to be used as an actual currency for everyday things right now. But in general, it's a great concept. Like, there's no single source of truth. That's a beautiful thing. And it's distributed. That's a beautiful thing. Trucking Simulator is working on it like Flight Simulator. Oh, so you could, in Trucking Simulator, choose anywhere on Google Maps. That'd be pretty cool. So DML Reverse is asking, how do I get that chat box behind me? This is an Electron application that I built. If you check out the frequently asked questions, there is, in this GitHub repo, there's a link to a page that describes all of my overlays. So it describes the drop game, this little alerts overlay, this thingy, and it links to the code, and it links to the live stream where I created it. Now, let it be known my code is messy and it's potentially not very usable by others without some modification. If you want something similar on your stream, there is Disstream Chat, which is created by some wonderful people who also happen to be mods here on the Coding Garden. There's Murdoch and David Snyder 404 and Saint Plays Things. They all worked on this tool, which looks very similar to mine, but it's totally usable by other people. So if you have a stream and you want a similar style chat overlay, you can go to that website. I believe it's free to use. I think eventually they're going to have like paid features. But yeah, I didn't realize that they had Coding Garden all over the examples. That's great. I appreciate you all. I don't know if any of you are watching right now. Cool. All right, check that out. Let's open some cards. Am I forgetting anything? We said hi, right? Oh, okay. There's more highs. Hello, Henry. What's up, Ed? And Ambrosi. Yeah, Street View does only have pictures, so it'd be a little weird to see like totally still people and stuff like that, and you'd be like driving through the backs of cars. I don't know. I don't know. Twitch chat for Android TV. Oh, so these icons will only work in my overlay. You're not going to see it in the regular Twitch chat. So in regular Twitch chat, it's just going to look the same. It's only in this overlay that appears behind me. Cool Jabrowski. Yeah, that's what CJ stands for. All right, let's open up some cards. Hello, Kalos. Anyone else I didn't say hi to? What's up, Prasanth? What's a common use case when a function returns a function? This is an example of a closure because the inner function closes over, well, the outer function closes over the scope of the inner function. Yeah, I don't think I can give you a quick example because it's a complex topic talking about closures. But it's used a lot in React. Like if you want to hold on to the value of something to be reused like in an event handler or something like that. That's what I'll say. Recursion? Recursion. All right, let's open up some Pokemon cards. Now, this is completely unrelated to programming, but I collect Pokemon cards, and I like opening them. So we're going to open some right now. We'll start with Rebel Clash first. This was requested by Turtle Monkey, and Rebel Clash is actually an older expansion. I mean, it came out in 2020, but Vivid Voltage is a whole lot newer. A lot of people don't like Rebel Clash. I like Rebel Clash for several reasons. One, you can actually find it in stores. It's incredibly hard to find Vivid Voltage in stores. And two, there's some really great cards in here and really great art. It has golden rares. It has rainbow rares. There are, and this is actually like really playable too. So if you play the actual battling Pokemon game, this has a ton of trainer cards and stuff in it. Oh wait, okay. Oh well, let's open it up. Let's hope for something good. Really, all I hope for is a card that I don't have yet, because I'm trying to collect a master set of both Rebel Clash and Vivid Voltage. So here we go. Yeah, so there's a ton of new ones, which is why I stick to specific expansions. Because there are just so many that I could get lost in the 900 Pokemon that there are. Okay, so the card trick is, when you open a pack, the rare card is not at the back. You actually have to take 4 of them, and then this card right here is the rare card. Every pack comes with 1 rare card. And Shark turned up, thank you for that resub. So we're gonna take these 4 from the back and put them in front of those 2. So now, the last card that we reveal will be the rare card. So we're building up to the suspense, or it's suspenseful. We're building up to the big reveal of the rare card right there. Okay, so we've got Meditite, we've got Grubbin, Electabuzz, Natu, Honedge, we've got Steel Energy or Metal type Energy, Scoop Up Net. This is actually a really playable card. Chateau or Chatot. We've got Charjabug, a reverse hollow Helioptile. So every Pokemon pack you get comes with 1 reverse hollow card, which is pretty cool, but this is actually just a common card. You can see in the circle down there. It's common, but it's reverse hollow. And for the rare, a Cramorant. So I don't think any of these cards are new, but it's still fun to open them. New in terms of ones that I need for my collection. All right, we're gonna open up some Vivid Voltage. Here we go. What? So take the top 4. They go here. And we've got Weedle, If you used to play Pokemon, that's probably the one Pokemon that you recognize. Tallow, Sandile, Oshawott, Pineco. This is one of my favorite artworks from this set. Grass or leaf type energy. Galvantula. Some people say Galvantula, but it's a spider, like a tarantula. It's a Galvantula. We've got Go-Goat. We've got Windon Stadium. For the reverse holo, we've got an Electric, which is a common or a uncommon. And for the rare, oh, it's a Holo Genesect. And Chief Mustardo, thank you for that Twitch Prime resub. Tarantula. That's a good pull. No new cards. I mean, I've opened a lot of Pokemon cards, so I actually, the cards that I do need in my collection are like extremely rare. They're gonna be really hard to pull. But thank you to both Danielle and Turtle Monkey for redeeming the Pokemon cards opening, because that was fun. Let us write some code. Pokemon names are creative. A lot of them are just like a direct, like it's the Japanese pronunciation of the Japanese name, which may or may not actually have any meaning. I don't know. And then some of them have to be creative because it's like, I don't know. It is translated, but then it needs to make sense. Let us begin. Oh, thank you, Sequel Gordster. Yeah, I've got quite a few cards to open, so it'll happen. It'll happen soon. All right, we're gonna play Clash of Code. So this is a competitive programming game where everyone will be dropped into a lobby, and we will all attempt to solve the same programming problem simultaneously. And there are several different modes. We'll start off with fastest. So this one is the first one to solve the problem. So it's not the most performant solution. It's literally the first person to solve the problem. Your code can be as ugly as heck, but if you're the first one to solve it, you get first place. And then it just goes down from there. You have the timestamps of when everyone submitted a valid solution. But we're all going to be dropped into the same lobby. When I click start, you'll be able to write your code. I'm going to allow you to use any programming language you want. Like so. So you can use any of these: Bash, C, C#, C++, Clojure, D, F#, Haskell, Kotlin, Lua, Python, Ruby, anything in this list. You can, and let me turn this off. Anything in that list you can use to solve the problem, right? Ruby, I mean, so that's the thing. A lot of these languages have a lot of built-in functions, so it's possible to get a very fast solution without writing much code, but is the name of the game. So let's go. So you can go here. You'll need to sign up, but I think we have 5 minutes till it starts, so I'll give you a minute or two to sign up if you don't have an account there, and then we'll get going. Cool. And so if anyone needs the link, the command is !current clash. There you go. Great. We have some other redemptions. Masaldo with a hydrate. Cheers. And DS Legends with the hydrate as well. Thank you very much. Coding game. The coding game has a lot of different coding related games. This one in particular is Clash of Code. So basically everyone that's in this lobby, so right now there are 36 people in the lobby, you can have up to 100. When I click launch, we're all going to be presented with the exact same programming problem, and the first one to solve it wins. But there is a leaderboard. Basically everyone will have a place. And then if you go to just the plain old coding game website, you can see that they have a ton of different challenges. Oh yeah, you're right. Thank you, Awaited. Because there are potentially other streamers doing this live. Codin game. Clash of Code. But if I change my title, it should appear in the live list. Let's see who else is live. Currently, Mitch's Workshop is doing some Clash of Code, or at least doing some coding game. for 32 people. So you can check out his stream. And Slow Karuma, thank you for that tier 1 sub. I don't think I saw it in my overlay, but I appreciate you. 5-month resub. That's great. That's great. I have no idea what my level is. I don't keep track of it. What's up, Mark? But yeah, so they have like monthly or weekly challenges. You have ways you can practice, ways you can compete. I really just like this Clash of Code thing because we can all try to solve a problem together. I mean, not together, but compete. I don't know. I'm level 5, people are saying. We can look at my profile. I've literally only done Clash of Code. Level 5. I am 35,000th in the United States. So that's right now you cannot set the difficulty level. So that's something to mention. It's very possible that the problem we're presented with is going to be really hard, is going to be potentially unsolvable by me. I'm going to do my best, but it's possible that it's going to be a really hard problem. It might also be math related. I don't like math that much. So yeah, we have no idea what kind of problem it's going to be. I think in the future, Coding Game is going to allow us to choose difficulty, but right now you can't. So yes, as John says, always do your best. If it seems really hard, don't get discouraged. Yeah, and that's the other thing. So after the whole thing is done, I typically look at all of the top solutions. So we'll see the same problem solved in multiple languages, which is pretty fun as well. All right, and it's possible, Hans. If you can find the answer, it's possible. All right, let's go. I think I clicked the button. Yeah, I clicked it. It's like... Here we go. So this is fastest mode. You can see the timer up in the top left. You'll have up to 15 minutes to solve it. You can see this is the problem description on the left, and then over on the right-hand side is where you can write your code. So in the drop-down, you can choose which programming language you want to use, and then over here is where you will write your code. Now again, this is fastest solution. It doesn't have to be pretty code. It just has to work and in the fastest amount of time. Well, like you have to be the first one to solve it. You can also click here to see your possible test cases. You can see inputs and outputs. Weird. But now let's read the problem description to see what this needs us to do. You must output the sum of holes in the input string plus the holes in the hexadecimal form of that sum. So holes are referring to the shape of characters. 0, 4, Q, and G have one hole only. Oh, and then here's the whole table. So every letter has a certain number of holes in them. I get it now. So like an A has that little dot in it, so that's one hole. A B has 2 holes in it. A C has no holes because it's not a closed shape. A D has 1 hole, and it's etc. So this is kind of like our lookup, the number of holes in any given letter. And then we get a line input, and we need to calculate the sum of all the holes in the input string plus the holes in the hexadecimal form of that sum. Okay, so first of all, we need some lookup tables. So I'm literally just going to put these all in, I'm just going to call this lookup. Right? Lookup? And it will have all of these. So I basically want to take that array, take that string, put it into an array of all the values. So basically what I want is a way to just access, to look up for any given input, what is the corresponding number of holes. So that's what I'm doing here. I'm building like a little lookup table where, let's call this letters. Or characters. So that's our list of characters, and it's going to be in an array. And then this is going to be our list of holes. There. So we have basically our lookup table. If we can find the index of the letter in this array, we can get that index in the holes array, and that will be the number of holes in that number, I guess. We also could just create like a lookup. Let's do this. So now the lookup is characters.reduce. We're going to reduce it to the lookup table, and we get each individual character. and we also get the corresponding index, and we're going to reduce this whole thing into an object, like a lookup table object. Yeah, a dictionary, exactly. So what I'll say here is that the lookup table at that given character is equal to the holes at that same index. Like that. Great. And then we'll just return L. What this should give us, I mean, we haven't solved the problem at all. All we've done is we've created an object with lookups. Yeah, so this is basically what we get. We have the letter, or the character 0 has one hole, the character 1 has 0 holes, etc. So easy enough for that. Now we need to sum all the holes in the input string. So what I need to do is I need to look at S, which is the input. Let's just rename it to S. I mean, rename it to input, because that's little it's more clear. It's clearer. So the sum of the letters is just going to be that input. Let's turn it into an array and then map and then reduce it, because we need to reduce it to the sum. So we have each individual character in that input. We have our sum, which starts off as 0, and our reduction is just going to say sum plus lookup at that character. So this is going to be the sum of all of the holes in the input string. You should be able to join. If you do !current clash, you'll get a link to it. Oh yeah, shark turn up. Yeah, so this is the unary plus operator. So because I turned this into a string and then I split it into an array, I wanted to turn it back into a number, so I used the unary plus. Okay, so we now have the sum of all the characters, and we need to divide that by the hexadecimal form, the holes in the hexadecimal form. So what we need to do, we'll call this the hex sum, and this is going to be sum to string 16. So wait, hex, yeah, hex is base 16, right? And HVBO, thank you for that 6-month resub. So we have the hex sum, and then we need to sum up all the characters in that. So let's put this into a function. We'll say sum chars is a function that takes in the input and then does this, like that. And so sum is the sum chars of the initial input, and then hex sum is sum chars of the base 16 version of that sum, and then we need to return those two things added together. So hex sum plus sum. First try. Nice. Submit. 100% third place. I am proud of myself. Usually like I'm in like 10th place or something like that. I'm actually very proud of myself that I was able to do that. So for those of you that have submitted your solution, just click on share my code, and I'll be able to take a look at the solution you provided. And welcome, Karan. Yes, you are on Twitch. We're live. You're here. You still have 8 minutes to solve it. So take your time, do your best. I'm going to take a drink of LaCroix. Kotlin won. Yeah, Q64 did it in Kotlin. Surprisingly, Thite only got 11%. I'm very curious what Thite did wrong. Maybe it worked for like their first input and then they didn't try it on the rest? I don't know. And Lexi did it in 5 minutes in JavaScript. That'll be fun to look at. What do we got? Christos Mag with the hydrate. Cheers. Quantum always uses Kotlin. Cool. I never use Kotlin. My phone is blowing up with Slack notifications from like this random Slack I'm in. Calm down, Slack. Okay. I think we'll do one more, yeah. I want to give everyone a chance to submit a solution here, though. Though we could... I don't want to push my luck. The fact that I was able to solve this is great. If we try to do another one, it's very possible that I will just struggle. So, I think we'll wait for most people to submit, and then we'll look at a few of the solutions. I love watching things I don't understand, so this is perfect. Well, welcome, Monkaman. What I'm about to do is review the solutions, so maybe, just maybe, it'll help you understand it a little bit better. You're very welcome, Lexi, and thanks for being here. Hello, Code Mechanic. Actually, I have an idea. I recently purchased a book on how to draw Pokemon. I'm gonna try to draw a Pokemon. So I'll be right back. Hello. G is 1? Yeah, I got 3rd place. Thank you, The Coding Show. Yeah, I am proud of that. I'm proud of that. All right. So, I recently got this book, How to Draw Pokemon, and I'm going to try to draw a Pokemon. We'll do a Pokemon drawing speed run, because we've only got 4, I mean, is 4 minutes a speed run? Who's to say? I'm going to do one more Clash of Code after this, and then I'm going to do a code challenge. I think I'm going to do some web scraping after that. Because there's a really cool website that lists Pokemon cards, and I want to scrape the data from it. Oh, nice, Limotes. That's good to hear. You actually finished. Pika. Yeah, I think I'll try to draw Pikachu, or I'll try to draw maybe Pichu. Oh, Mr. Balrog with the card pack redemption. I'll do it. Mr. Balrog, let me know which expansion you would want me to open. Let's see. We have to, I think I can make this a little bit bigger. Whichever? Okay. Dealer's choice. I think I'll pick a pack of Vivid Voltage. What was I gonna do? I was just gonna make this a little bit bigger. Boop. We're waiting for that timer to go down. Use a pencil. Know your shapes. This book is meant for kids, but know your shapes. Go ahead and color them. All right. So this is Igglybuff. We've got Cleafa, Chikorita, Cyndaquil, Wobbuffet. I'm gonna try to draw Pikachu. The only thing is, these shapes are really weird, and it doesn't tell me how to draw these shapes. So I'm gonna do my best. I'm gonna do my best. We're gonna use blue. So step 1, from top to bottom, Pikachu's head is about the same size as its body. Remember that, and you'll have a top-notch Pikachu. Okay, so here we go. We're gonna go with this weird circle shape that is his head. It's a weird shape. All right, we got that much. Great. And now this is gonna be the most derpiest Pikachu ever. And Zerzera, thank you for that Twitch Prime sub. All right, now we need an ear. Here we go. Potato Chew. Now we need an ear. That's not bad. That's not bad. Now we need this ear. And hey, Zero Alberto, thank you for that Prime sub. This is a really derpy ear. Now that's a turnip. Just give it time. You have to let the whole Pikachu reveal itself. It'll come through. Okay, so now we need arms on both sides. So we got like this and like this. Oh, that arm's bigger than that arm. Oh no. Oh no. Right, now we need a little, like a fat little body. So it goes out like this with a little hump and then back in. Okay. And then we need feet. Here's one. Here's another one. All right, now we need the tail. Pikachu with the booty. Now we need the tail. This will be easy. It's just straight lines, right? Boom. 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 It's coming along. I do play chess, yeah. I mean, I'm not that good at it, but I play it. Okay, so step 3 is to give Pikachu 5 tiny fingers on each hand. Oh, you're supposed to draw this with a pencil. I can't erase marker. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. There we go. Add the ear shading. It needs little toes. It needs the circles on its cheeks. Great. Step 5, give Pikachu a smiling mouth. All right, I think I can do this. So he goes like this, like that. He has eyes. I just ruined it with that eye. He's gonna be a derpy Pikachu. There's a tongue in the mouth. He's got a little nose. We can do it like oh, I think I can fix it. I can fix it by doing this. Looking good. All right. And then there's like a little like this is black back here. Right? Or a dark. Looking scary. And then his ears are dark too. I've done it. It's Pikachu. All right, great work, everyone. Yeah. Well, actually, did anyone see? There was a my goodness, there was a someone posted like a hilarious YouTube video of. There's a very specific AI that can like generate pictures of natural language text. Does anyone remember what that is? Because if I can find it, their website has a demo, and it's hilarious because you can. They have one specific demo where you can say an illustration of Pikachu wearing a hat playing chess. So like you have the sentence, and then the AI just Dolly. That's the one. The AI just generates pictures of Pikachu that look like that, and I'll say that it's not much better than my Pikachu. So, but I just want to show you this. So in a second, we're going to review the solutions to the Clash of Code. But right now, I want to show you this because it's hilarious. Here we go. So I think I could. This is the one I can adjust. So I can say an illustration of Pikachu in a beanie playing chess. And this artificial intelligence just generates all these pictures of Pikachu in a beanie playing chess. Okay, my drawing was definitely worse than this AI. And I believe all of these are like pre-run demos. Like this is, I don't think this is running the it's scary how good it is. I don't believe this is running the AI in the browser or anything like that. And I don't, at least when I watched the video, they didn't release their model. But we can say we have Pikachu in a leather jacket blowing its nose. Wow. It's insane how, I mean, some of them are horrible, but insane how kind of good they are. And thank you, Shot in the Dark, for the 45 bits. Best speed run ever. Pikachu in a leather jacket watching TV. Cool. So check this out if you haven't. It's pretty crazy. Now let's look at the solution. So This problem was a tricky. I mean, it wasn't tricky. It was like a weird one. So the problem statement was, you must output the sum of the holes in the input string. So for example, if the input string is A, the letter A has one hole in it. Let me show you, for example, this. So you see how this is the letter A, and it has one giant hole in the middle? So the letter A has one hole. If we look at the letter B, it has two holes. 1, 2. So basically what you need to do is you need to take the input string and sum up the number of holes of all the letters in the input string. Now, they provided you with a lookup table. Hey, calm down. This is work appropriate stream. They give you a lookup table, so they let you know beforehand for every letter how many holes are in that letter, right? So this is our lookup table. So you get an input string. It could like be the word hello, and we count the number of holes. So there's one hole in the letter E, there's no hole in H or L, and there's one hole in the letter O. So for the word hello, there are 2 holes. The sum is 2. You then need to take that sum and divide it by the number of holes in the hexadecimal representation of that sum. So because there are 2 holes, 2 in hexadecimal is actually just 2. So the answer would be 1. But in JavaScript, we can say, we can take a number and say toString and specify base 16, and that will convert that number into base 16. Oh, actually, no. So the hexadecimal representation has no holes because the hexadecimal representation is 2. So for hello, the answer to this solution is 2 because the input string has 2 holes, and then the hexadecimal representation is 2. There are 0 holes. Actually, it would be 2 divided by 0? What did it say? Oh no, it's add them together. Yeah. So it's not division. Sorry, it's the sum of the holes plus the holes in the hexadecimal form. Yeah, so it's 2 plus 0. And we'll see you, Julian. Thank you for the supports earlier. So that's basically what we had to solve. And you had a lot of different inputs, and you had to sum the holes of the hexadecimal representation, and then add them to 0. Add them together. So. Oh, it dropped. Oh, that's unfortunate, Shaggy. Yeah, a lot of people didn't get 100%. There must have been some edge cases they didn't account for. But let's take a look at Q64 solution. They got first place. They did it in 4 minutes with Kotlin. Let's take a look at Kotlin. So we have uppercase, lowercase, and digit. And hey, Melinda Beans, thank you very much for that 5-month resub. But these are our lookup tables. So these are the number of holes for all the uppercase letters from A to Z, all the lowercase letters from A to Z lowercase, and then all the digits from 0 to 9. So we have this calculate function. This is it seems like this is potentially our, it's like the reduce that we did. So this takes in an input string. It's going to map over every character in the input string. If that character is a digit, we'll use the digit lookup table. Character minus 0. So this must be an easy way of converting a string or a character into a number in Kotlin. Very similar to like the unary plus that we did. So if it's a digit, look up the number of holes here. If it's uppercase, look up the number of holes here. Wait, no. That doesn't do that. No. That finds the index. Because if we take the... Yeah, we're offsetting it. That makes total sense. So, yeah, it's the ASCII table. Yeah, thank you, Babenzer. So, in ASCII, the capital letter A is, what, 26? No, it's not 26. 62? 23? I don't know. What is it? It's 65. So in ASCII, the letter A is 65. But if you subtract, if you subtract the letter A from it, that's 65, so you get 0. So the letter A gets shifted back to 0, and then Z would be index 25. So basically, it's a way of taking that ASCII code and turning it into an index from 0 to 25. So grab the number of holes for that uppercase letter. And hey, Real Max, thank you for that Prime resub. And then grab the character, the number of holes for the lowercase letter, right? So we, then we turn it into a number. And so this is going to give us a map, or basically an array of, or a list. I don't know how Kotlin does it, but we have a list of all of the number of holes in that input string. And then, surprisingly, Kotlin has this beautiful little sum function. So we just sum it all together. And then we do calculate the sum of the holes in the input. This is really weird syntax. And then let it... Where did this it variable come from? Is that just the syntax in Kotlin? So it's like, calculate this and then do something with the result. And the result is called it. Well, is it a keyword, or do you get to name it any? It's implicit. Oh, it's implicit. So it's kind of like the result of this calculation will be known as it in the language. That's just a thing. Okay, so the result of that calculation is the sum of the holes in the input, and then we add that to the sum of the holes of that sum in hexadecimal. Then, and then, and chain, and then, and then, and then. Optionally, you can name it. That's really interesting to me, like just it as a implicit variable. Cool. So it's very similar to how I did it, but just in Kotlin. Let's see how Lexi did it in JavaScript. So we have this is similar to what I did. We have a big string of values. We have a big string of their corresponding number of holes. And then we have the sum. So I did the work of turning it into a lookup table first, but you technically didn't have to do that. You could just search this array to find that specific character, you get back the index, and then use that index to index into this one. And because they're such small strings, you don't really got to worry about performance. They're missing a semicolon, that's fine. Semicolons are optional in JavaScript. Okay, so iterate through the input, which is in a variable called s. For every letter in the input, get the index from the values string, and then we can use that index to do a lookup on the holes string, turn it into an integer, and add it to the sum. So this is basically just going to sum it all up. Great. And then we do it again, but with the hexadecimal version of the sum. So take that sum, turn it into hex. For every letter in that hex value, we look up the number of holes, add it to the sum. And yeah, we just have a running sum here. So after calculating the sum of the first, we just continue to add the sum of the hex. Beautiful. My solution, also in JavaScript, was very similar. The only thing I did first was create a lookup table. So instead of having to do index of multiple times, first I created just a lookup table where you could say, it's basically a dictionary, where you could, the keys are the letters and the values are the counts, the corresponding counts. So I have these strings, turn them into arrays so that I could, well, I technically didn't have to do it for holes, but I turned characters into an array so I could use reduce. And so I reduce this array of characters into a lookup table, a dictionary with keys and values. Then I have a nice little function that takes in some string and then sums up all of the number of holes using that lookup table. And then we just use that function twice. We use it on the input, and then we use it on the sum converted to base 16, and then add them both together. Wonderful. All right, we're going to take a look at Sora. They did it with Rust. And then we'll just look at Curious Drive, because they did it with C#. And then we're going to do one of our own. Or another one. We're going to do another one. Another one. Okay. We're using Rust. I actually don't know if I've ever looked at Rust before. Maybe I've looked at it. I've never coded in it. All right, so we have a macro rule called parse input. I believe this is probably provided. Maybe you can tell me, but I think this is provided by Coding Game as a way to read input. I don't know. Well, welcome, Captain. Here's the thing. If you hang out long enough, you'll eventually start to understand some of the stuff we're talking about. So it's good to get immersed. Yeah, I mean, Rust is a lower level language, so you potentially have to do like memory management and stuff like that. Hello, Amr. Welcome. Okay, so we have this function, which is basically just like a switch statement. It's an interesting way to do it. This potentially took a while to type out, unless there was like some keyboard foo. But basically, instead of a lookup table, you could have just had a switch on and really this again, this isn't exactly a switch. This is pattern matching because the pattern is the given character, and then you are returning the number of holes in that character. So very interesting. This is similar to like the lookup table that I created, but it's kind of just embedded as a pattern matching in a function. Yeah. All right. We'll see you, Shylance. Thanks for dropping by. Okay. Now that we have that, was that provided already? I don't know. Now that we have that, we read in the input. I think again, all of this is like boilerplate code just to get that input read in. And then for every character in the input, map it through this pattern matcher and sum it. Well, that's easy enough. It's pretty cool that you can pass like this pattern matching function. I guess with the map, you probably could pass in any function, right? It doesn't have to be a pattern matcher, right? Yeah, Pratik says, Rust basically makes it so that the compiler is super complicated and makes sure that you never run into runtime errors. Yeah, so it's a longer compile time, smaller runtime, with potentially way less runtime errors than you'd ever get anywhere else. Yeah, JavaScript would work this way too, but in JavaScript, it's like functions are first class. I guess in Rust, functions are potentially first class. You just pass in a function. But in JavaScript, we don't really have pattern matching like this. So that's cool. All right, then to get the hexadecimal version of it, we use dbg and format. So format the sum with this. So somehow this converts that integer sum into hexadecimal. DBG is just for debugging. Okay. So that's how you output potentially. How is this telling it to be in hex? I guess if we just looked at the documentation for the format function, it would probably, yeah, so x question mark means print as hex. Interesting. Cool. Yeah, so this says turn that integer, I guess it's an integer. This is saying usize. So it's not an integer, it's a usize, which I guess is like an integer. Is that accurate? Let's look up Rust usize. Primitive. Usize. The pointer-sized unsigned integer type. Cool. Yeah, and it's used for pointers, which are like memory locations. Cool, so turn it to hex, get all of the characters of that hexadecimal value. This is really interesting to see because like, I know that Rust is a lower level language. Let's take a quick stretch. I have an 8-month-old niece. This looks very similar to what they are speaking. Yeah, it's for if you haven't seen this before, it probably looks like nonsense, but it's learnable. You could spend time and learn it. But like in C and C++, at least from when I learned it and when I was coding in it, like there weren't a lot of these built-in functions like this where like this is great. This is like immediately converting that usize unsized integer into an array of characters. Easy enough. And then we can just like chain it with maps. So that's really cool. And then again, we just pass in that same function. And then there's a built-in sum. That's really cool too. Yeah. And then lastly, we just add them together. So add the previous sum plus the hex sum. All right, we're going to look at C#, the C# solution by Curious Drive, and then we'll do one more clash and then possibly do some web scraping. I might have to go. I do have a work meeting at noon. So that's a thing. All right, so C#, here we go. So we have the characters, we have the hole values. This looks very similar to the first JavaScript solution that we saw. I mean, one of the main differences is there are typings, but we have the characters, we have the holes, and then we just grab the index of the character and then use that to look up in the holes. That's what we're doing right here. Yeah, C# is very similar to Java. So iterate up to the length of the input, get the index of the current character, and then use that index to look up the number of holes. This is using char.getNumericValue. I guess that makes sense, because if you were to try to cast a char to an int, it would give you back the ASCII code instead of the numeric value. I used to write C#. I don't know if I probably use this function. I don't remember using this function, but that makes sense. So this, we're given a character with the value 1 inside of it. We want the numeric value of that character. Great, sum it all up. Do the same thing, but there's this nice little convert.toString where we can convert it to hex. So it gives back a double. Get numeric value gives back a double? That's cool. So then you cast that to an int. Okay. Yeah, so we do the same thing, but with the hexadecimal version of the sum. And we're done. Great job, Curious Drive. Yeah, so we're going to do one more clash. Here we go. So for those of you that are just joining us or watching, or just watch that, we're going to do it again. This time, we're going to do shortest mode. And I'm going to force you to use JavaScript. We did this last time, but the main reason being, shortest mode is like code golf. So you have to solve it in the least number of characters. And if someone were to choose Ruby or Python, it'd be a lot easier for them to potentially get it in shorter number of characters than myself, who's going to write it in JavaScript. So I'm going to force you to use JavaScript, and we're gonna be we're gonna be presented with a random coding problem, and you will have up to 15 minutes to solve it in the least number of characters. Yeah, this is a JavaScript appreciation stream. So for those of you that haven't written JavaScript before, you can maybe learn something. An Element here, thank you for that 6-month resub. It's a pre-recorded video, says Coders Gym. Yes, it's pre-recorded, but it's live, and everyone in the chat is able to join the clash that's happening right now. So let's go. We're live. Yeah, actually, I think we're listed on the Coding Gate website. So you can go here. We'll start the challenge in 2 to 3 minutes. And then we'll do our best. Ganbatte kudasai. We will attempt to solve this problem in the shortest number of characters. Now, I mentioned it earlier, but sometimes these get really, really hard. And we're going to try our best. We'll see how it goes. Yeah, exactly. So white space counts. I'll give you a tour of the editor once we jump into it. You want, and in JavaScript specifically, because semicolons are optional, you probably want to not use semicolons. There are various things you can do to get the least number of characters possible. Coding Game just a scrape, or not a scrape, but they probably call it the Twitch API. But they, anyone that has the word Coding Game in their Twitch title, will get listed on the live page. So anybody, even you. Look at me, I'm there, and also Mitch's workshop. There's a first time for everything, Nuasir. You can try JavaScript. Try JavaScript today. Yeah, this is a good idea, Andrew. We have a lot of good ideas out there right now. I like to just live in the moment, though. if I can be reminded to do it one day, maybe we'll do it. Yeah, right now I am forcing you to use JavaScript because we're gonna do shortest mode, and so I want it to be an even playing field for this code golf. Basically, you solve it in the least number of characters. Yeah, anybody's welcome to join. It's always fun, and honestly, you don't have to solve it with the shortest number of characters. You could just solve it for solving's sake. Hey, what's up, Atomic J? Welcome to the show. Shout out to Atomic J. They're a member of our Live Coders team. Check them out. Yeah, we're just playing some Clash of Code. Mountains is crying. JavaScript? No, JavaScript is fine. You can do it. I believe in you. If you can write any other language, you can very likely write JavaScript. JavaScript kind of just feels like a mashup of a lot of other languages. I don't know. Yeah, and feel free to join our current clash. There, so you can click that. You'll be dropped into the lobby. I'm going to start the game in 15 seconds. Yes, all languages are perfectly fine. They all have their ups and their downs. Yeah, white space, line breaks, all of that counts. Yeah, no worries, Atomic J. Yeah, white space counts, comments count. So I'll show you really quick. I'm going to start it now. I believe you can still join after I start it. But now that we're in the, I thought it was gonna be a 3 countdown. That's why I did this weird thing. But now that we're in the clash, you'll have 15 minutes to solve it in the least number of characters. So technically, you probably want, or not technically, I always say that word. I don't need to use that word, but you basically kind of want to spend as much time as possible making it as short as possible. So on the left-hand side, we have a problem description, and it says we have to evaluate a mathematical expression. That's why I was like, I don't want to do math, but regardless, I guess we'll have to do parsing. Okay, but that's the problem description. On the right-hand side is your code. You can only use JavaScript, and right here you can see the code size. So this is the number of characters. You'll notice that the boilerplate has some comments. Get rid of it, because that's already adding to your code size, like that. And also in JavaScript, semicolons are optional, so get rid of those too, because you want it to be as small as possible. Yeah, so comments count. And then I'll give you a quick hint. You can also use print instead of console log. They have this aliased so that it's shorter characters. Another quick hint for those of you new to JavaScript, you actually don't need a variable declarators. You don't need to say const or var. You can just do that. Yeah, so here we go. Here is the variable type. Yeah, so you don't need const, let, or var. Those are all optional, which makes you can get some pretty short solutions. If you send clash link, your account will send the edit command. Oh, that's great. Thank you, Andrew. I guess it was pretty quick and easy to code, but see this code size. The person that submits a fully correct answer with the smallest code size will win. Actually, I use Streamlabs, not StreamElements. Okay, the goal is you must evaluate a given mathematical expression like a non-scientific calculation, meaning there is no operator precedence. For example, 1 plus 2 times 3 will result in 9. 1 plus 2 times 3 instead of... Okay, that's easy. So we don't have to account for operator precedence. So that's nice. That's what makes solving math problems really hard. If we just go from left to right, easy enough. So the input is one string containing an expression to evaluate. The output is an integer result of the expression. The input only contains digits and operators, so that's great. Yeah. Doesn't contain negative numbers. That's great. Divisions will always result in an integer. Okay, this seems easy enough. It's a very simplified version of it. I mean, technically, you could just do eval it. Now, I'm not gonna do this. All right, do they? Oh wait, it didn't work. Let's look at the example inputs and outputs. So. 1 plus 2. Oh, you can't eval it because eval would take into account operator precedence. Yeah, exactly. Crow has it. So it's not going to work. You have to do it by hand. So 1 plus 2 times 3, easy enough. 0 is 0. 10 plus 20 times 30 minus 40 times 60 divided by 5, easy enough. 0 minus 1,000 divided by 10 plus 50 divided by 2. And you just evaluate it from left to right. And then 1 minus 1 times 1 plus 1 divided by 1 minus 1 is 0. Okay, I think we can do this. I'm thinking we could potentially extract out all of the operators and then just apply them left to right. Like, I don't know if it's going to be the shortest, though. So, but what I'm thinking is we do a single pass that extracts out plus and multiplication. And it also extracts out our operators, 1, 2, and 3. And then we do a second pass that does the work. I mean, the main reason I would do that is because we have multiple digit numbers. An Excavator, thank you for that 3-month resub, who says, I should be studying, but the notification was too tempting. Well, hopefully you can just have me on in the background. Keep studying. Yeah, and so we could look at it one character at a time, and I know I could solve this. I could think of a million ways to solve this, but I'm trying to think ahead of time what's going to be the shortest way of solving it. I think I can just do it. I'm just gonna solve it without trying to be too efficient. Yeah, because I mean, technically what we could do is we could look at every single character. So we have the input, we could split it and then reduce it. And then that's gonna give us the total, like the result R. And then we're gonna give each individual character C. And hey, username unknown404, thank you for that resub. Hello there. Hello. And this whole thing starts off with 0, I guess. I don't know. We'll say like if I'll have to shorten this later. I'm gonna write it out long form. So if the current character is a digit, and hey, Sheppy, thank you for that Twitch Prime sub. So if the current character is a digit, JavaScript check if character is number. Is there a built-in is integer? Is that a thing? We could do a regular expression. Number.isInteger. I think I'll just use this. It's really long though, but it's fine. Eval for each part. Yeah, but I think what I want to do is I basically want to build up like the current operand, and that's just going to be a string. And then if I reach something that's not an operand, then I do a calculation. So I think I don't know. I think I'm overthinking this. Yeah, so that's why I'm because we have to handle double digits. So if the number is an integer C, then we're just going to append it to let's call this the left hand operand, the right hand operator, and the plus minus subtraction or division. What is that? The operation? Okay, so if the number is an integer, then we're going to say and if the number is an integer and the left operand and the right operand doesn't have a value. Because if the right operand doesn't have a value, we're still appending it to the left operand. So then I'm just going to say left operand plus equal that current character. And so that's just going to append it here. So if it's not an integer, then that means we've reached an operand. So I'm just going to say O equals the current character. I don't know. I can't do this in short form. I really can't. I kind of want to just extract out all of the operations. Oh, I like that. If O is not empty. Okay, there we go. So if O doesn't have a value, append it to the left. Here. But if O doesn't have a value, append it to the right. O does have a value, we'll say right plus equals the current character, like that. We technically don't need these, we don't need these, we don't need that. Otherwise, we have the operator. Now, how do we know when we've reached, so we're gonna have basically a pair of things to calculate. So if there is no O, we set O. Otherwise, if we reached an operator, we now need to perform the calculation. So let's just have here T for total, starts off at 0. And I'll say total plus equals the left plus the right. I'm just gonna do this. I don't have much time. I think I only have 5 minutes left. Yeah, I'm gonna use eval here. So I'm gonna say eval the left plus the operator plus the right. And we need to reassign everything to an empty string. So we'll say left equals right equals operator equals the empty string. We can do that here. I think. And actually, we don't even need to reduce at this point. I'm just gonna do a map. Yeah, eval is absolutely a security vulnerability, but this is code golf. We don't exactly care about that. And then we're just gonna print out the total. Now, did I do it right? I don't know. Okay, what did I get here? Found 3, expected 9. I definitely need to do some debugging. Look, we only have 4 minutes left. Nookie Poo, thank you for those bits. Very much appreciated. I kind of just want to print left, operator, and right here. Don't reset the left. Oh, cool. But okay, so I guess in the simplest example of like 1 plus 2 times 3. So we're gonna have when we get here, we have the left and the right, right? And then we find the right, and then we don't reset it. We just say right equals left. Okay, so we say right equals the left. No. The left equals the right one. The right and the operator equal nothing. Well, I guess what I'm doing is I'm doing the total here. So left is the eval. Oh. Okay. And then print the left value. Is that it? We get 12. Okay, we get 12. Wait. We have 2 minutes left. Okay, so and there is no operator. No, actually, at this point, we no longer have a left-hand side. It always becomes the right-hand side. Right? So I basically need to stop appending to the left-hand side at some point. At the end of the else, didn't add the operator? Oh, I had the operator here. So I'm getting 12 instead of 9. So it does 1 plus 2 is 3 times 3 is 9. And then how am I getting 12? Oh. I have to do this. Right? 1, 2, 3. Oh, I only have 47 seconds left. This is not looking good. Hey, I got 0 right. Unexpected end of input in the eval. Oh man, this was a hard one. I didn't assign. Oh! No. Oh. The operator equals the current character. see if I got at least, like, I got 0%. I tried my best. Okay, I'll share my code. Yeah, that was a hard one. That was a really hard one. All right, let's see who got it. All right, we actually do have some 100% solutions. And actually, yeah, we need to wait for all of the solutions to calculate, because I think some are still coming in. That was hard. If it wasn't shortest mode, I could have figured it out. I was just trying to think in short characters while also solving it at the same time. Yeah, that's usually what I do, Yatan. Like, I usually solve it and then try to minify it, but I have found that you don't always result in the shortest solution. It's like it's a minified version of the solution, but it's not necessarily the shortest solution. So I kind of it was my own fault. Okay, but for those of you that missed it, the problem statement was you're given an input string like this. You need to evaluate it, but there is no operator precedence. So you just evaluate it from left to right. So it's 1 plus 2, which is 3 times 3. The result is 9. So you had to solve that in the least number of characters. And let's see how many 100% solutions we had. We had 7 people that got it 100% right in 250 characters or less. So let's look at the 80 character solution from LT Nightshade. Oh no, didn't mean to do that. From LT Nightshade, they took the most amount of, like, they took the whole time, which is good, to try to get it as the least number of characters as possible. And they did it in 80 characters. So Sora did it faster, but they did it with 5 more characters. So the way to win here was with the least number of characters. Okay, we have 2 packs of cards we need to open. I think we'll do that, and then I have to end the stream. But we'll review the code really quick. Okay, look at this solution. I did, Murdoch. Welcome, Murdoch. Okay, so S equals read line. So while reading the input is not nan, I mean, you didn't really have to do this because there was only 1 line of input, but that's okay. Right? Oh, no, because you're overwriting S with that. Okay. Okay. Yeah, I'm not going to have time to do web scraping today. Unless, actually, that could be YouTube content. 5-minute web scrape. We'll do that. I'll have to review the solution, then we'll do that. Okay. Okay, so we're replacing the input with this regular expression. So this regular expression finds 0 or more minus signs, followed by a digit, followed by 1 or more digit. Okay, so this looks weird, but in general, this is just extracting out the first pair calculation that it finds, right? Yeah, I honestly, it would take me a while to really break down what this regular expression is doing, but at a high level, this is basically saying, find the first operation. So 1 plus 1, or 1,000 times 2, or 5 divided by 8. It's basically, this regular expression extracts out that very first operation and just replaces it with the evaluated version of it. So now you have a smaller string. So like in the example input, this would basically, on the first pass, it would take 1 plus 2 and replace it with 3. And then it would take 3 times 3, replace it with 9, and we're done. Yeah, so that's great. And then at the end of it all, you have the solution. What I'm curious of, though, is Oh, never mind. I was going to say, like, wouldn't this replace multiple if you had, like, 11 plus 11 and you also had 1 plus 1? But no, this is just going to find the first one. Because by default, this is not a global matcher. This just finds the first one and replaces it. This isn't technically recursive because it's using a while loop. but anything that is a loop could be written as recursion. So yeah, you could write a function that takes in a string, does the replacement, and then returns that by calling itself again with the output, with like a base case check. Yeah, you could do this recursively, but this is not recursive. Okay, Terrazoid, I'm gonna look at theirs. They did it in 81 characters. Let's see what they did. So read in the line, split it on word boundaries. How would a word boundary work here? And then update the input with the evaluated version. /B is smart. That's great. Okay. My phone is going off. So for whatever reason, my phone number is in it's in like a text chain, and you have all these people. Remove me from this list immediately. Emphasized. Remove me from this list. Remove me from the list. Can someone remove me? Me too. All you have to do is go into settings and just disable the notifications for this group. I have no idea who these people are. I think some bot just like iterated phone numbers in order, because I literally see the phone number before and after mine. But all I have to do is just silence the notifications, because surprisingly, I mean, I guess I could block these numbers. I don't know. They don't want it to say. There's no way to remove it. Like, it's a bot. Okay. Beautiful job, Terrazoid. Very similar to what the previous solution did, but we're using this word boundary to extract it out. That's great. All right. So I've only got 4 minutes. We're going to do a quick code challenge to scrape a web page. And the web page I want to scrape is Limitless TCG. So this is if you're into trading card games, this is a great website. Specifically, they have Pokemon cards. And what I want to do is I want to scrape out all the info for a particular set. So for example, Vivid Voltage. And actually, I have to open 2 packs of cards. We'll scrape first, then we'll open cards. But for example, if I take a look at all of the cards, sort by set and number, I want to display their full information. So you're going to see the image, the type, the name, the current price on TCG Player. Yeah. Actually, the proper response to a bot is the word stop, I believe. If you just say stop, I think if it's a legitimate bot, they are legally required to remove you from the list. I don't know. But basically, this webpage has a bunch of Pokemon stuffs. And I've done some research in the past. It just so happens that this page actually is server-side rendered. So if we look at the network requests, whenever I change this, like if I say text only, this is a full-fledged page refresh to get the information. So, and if we look at the, actually, I need to do a quick intro because I'm gonna make this a YouTube video. Okay, yeah. If I didn't show your solution, I'm sorry. Great job. I have things to do. Do we have focus modes too? That's fine. That's fine. We're going to do some content. So yes, please spam the chat with the coding content emote if you can. And thank you. We got 2 focus modes. I mean, technically, I'm going to try to do it in 5 minutes. Coding content. This one. Wait, is my phone still going off? Oh, man. Now they've created separate groups. They've created separate groups, and so I have like 3 different chains that I need to silence now. I should probably just get a new phone number, honestly. This is a really old phone number. I just can't have this vibrating in my pocket the whole time I'm trying to code. Okay, here we go. This is going to be a 6-minute coding challenge. We're going to do it in 6 minutes. Hello, friends. Welcome to Coding Garden with CJ. In this, hopefully, very, very short coding challenge, I'm going to do some web scraping. So, I like to play Pokemon. I collect Pokemon cards, and I want to scrape this website that has a bunch of Pokemon card information. So this is Limitless TCG. It's a beautiful website, but I want to extract out the data from this web page. So this web page specifically has information about the Vivid Voltage set. It has the Pokemon card image. It has all the information about the card. It has the current price on TCG Player and other websites. Basically, this web page has everything for this specific set of cards. And I want to basically extract it out into JSON, into like an API. If we look at the source code of this web page, this is what's known as a server-side rendered web page, because if we look at the source code, all of the information on the web page is already there. There is no JavaScript making requests to load this data. It's basically there when the page loads. So we can see that when I request the source of this page, I have all the info. I have the name of the Pokemon. I have a link out to the image. Look at that, beautiful HD image. We have all this stuff, and it's separated out into tags. So what I'm going to do very quickly is write some code that extracts out the information. I'm going to at least extract out the name of the Pokemon, the image, and then I'm going to try to get the current price in USD. Okay, so let's go. So I need a directory called Pokemon Info API. We're not going to take a break. We got to write this code. So we're going to go in here. I'm going to init this as a npm project. So I'm going to use Node.js and JavaScript for this, mainly because it's really easy. So there's some nice packages you can use. I'm going to use Cheerio, which is a library that allows me to extract out elements from HTML. It's very similar to jQuery, but it works on the server side. And I'm going to use Axios to make the request. Now, not Node, it's npmi. So I want to install these two things as dependencies. Now, you may be saying, why are you using Axios? Why don't you use something else? Why are you using Cheerio? Why don't you use something else? You try coding this in 4 minutes. This is what I'm used to. This is what I'm going to use. So we're going to create a file called index.js. And we need to do some things. So we're going to bring in Axios. This is the thing that's going to make the request to get the contents of the web page. And then we're also going to bring in Cheerio. This is going to be the thing that extracts out the elements of the web page. So we'll create a function called getPokemon. And basically what we need to do is we need to programmatically make a request to this specific URL. So we're going to do that here. So I'll say, and let's make this an async function. Let's say axios.get this specific URL. Now, of course, we could parameterize this. We could pass in the identifier of the set and like get any list. But for now, we're just going to focus on this specific thing. So we're going to do axios.get. That should give us back some data. We're going to await it. And this data should just be the HTML contents of the page. So if I log out this data, we should see a bunch of HTML in the console. Let's go. Let's go. Ta-da! Okay, so it's the actual source of the web page. Now what we need to do is we need to use Cheerio to extract out some information. So I'm going to put it in a variable called $, because it's very similar to jQuery and it's going to work in a similar way. So I'll say Cheerio.load, pass in that HTML, and that gives us back this $, this money. And then we can use jQuery-like things to select elements out of it. So if we look at the web page, let's look at the element inspector and see like what are some class names we can use to extract out these cards. So this is, so we can see that every one of the cards, did it 404? Oh, we have 404 viewers. I was like, what? The web page wasn't found? No, it's right there. It's right there. Okay. But we can see that each one of these cards has the class card page main. Right? And so I'm going to use that selector to get all of those divs. So what I'm going to say is I'm going to say cards are equal to money with the class selector card dash page dash main. And then I think I can like at least look at the or dash. I had a period. So card dash page dash main. This should select every element on that page that has this specific class. And then I'm just going to log out. Can I do like length? Let's see how many of them there are. There are 203. And I think that's right, because if we look at the very last card, I think the number, let's look at it. Yeah, look at that. So it's a secret rare. It's number 203 out of 185. So we've done it. We've selected every card on the page. And so now what we need to do is we need to reach into each card and extract out information. So here's what I'm going to do. jQuery has this nice little, well, not jQuery. jQuery, Cheerio, jQuery-like thing has this nice little each function. And so for each card, we're going to get the index and then the element. Let's call it the card. And I'm going to call it element. It's the element. It's the wrapper. And then I can run this function for everyone. I think they also have like a map. I don't know all of the functions, so we're just going to do this. So I'm going to start off with an empty array of cards. We're going to iterate over every card we selected on the page, and then I need to extract out like the title and the image. So we'll say the title is going to be that element, and I need to create a selectable version of the element. So I'll say element here, and then I can do element.find, $element.find, and pass in some sort of selector. Now, if we get lucky, it has literally the selector title. But let's see. So if we look in this specific card, and we look at the card text here, here we go. It actually has the name card text name. So this is the name of the card. That's the selector I'm going to use. I'm going to create a little object called card. It has a title. And then I'm going to push this card into the cards array. So I'll say cards.push card. So now, if I've done everything right, we should have an array of a length 203, and it should have the name of every single Pokemon in this set. Oh no! $each is not a function. Is it just .each? Let's try again. Yes! Maybe not. No, that didn't work. Oh, no. Okay, so I found the node. I specifically want to get the text inside of that node, so I need to do that to get the text in there. Okay, this is going to work. This is going to work. Nice. Okay, so I have an array with objects. Each one of them has the name of the Pokemon. Beautiful. Last thing I want is I want to extract out the image. So let's see what the selector for that is. It has the class card picture, card image. Okay, so easy enough. I'm just going to say the image is for this wrapper element. I need to find the element that has the class card picture with the class card image. And then I want to extract out the href attribute from that, because if we look at this, this has, oh, not the href, sorry, the src. The src is the actual URL of the image. Let's call this image URL. And so now we should get the titles, we should get the images. Beautiful. All right, so let's take a look at this Clobbopus. If we grab this image, it's beautiful. It's beautiful. So that's it. I could very easily pick out other things. Okay, last thing is we want the price in USD. Card price USD. Beautiful. There it is. So let's just say the current price is, let's grab this element. We're going to find the card price USD element. We're going to grab the inner text. And I'm also just going to trim it just to make sure there's no like extra spaces or anything like that. All right, here we go. Nice. Yeah, look at that. Unfortunately, sometimes there are two prices. So we just want to grab the first one. I guess, I don't know which one's which. I need to be done with this right now. So can I just do like first? We'll just grab the first price listed. Yeah, that's better. Look at that. So we've got titles, we've got images, we've got prices. If I spent longer coding on this, we could extract out all of the card information. And then we could basically just put this into an API. I think I already said I was going to do that, so I'll just do it really quick. I kind of want to be done right now, but that's fine. So I'm going to install Express, and I'm going to install Cores and Morgan. Express is a library for creating APIs with Node.js. So let's create a quick little Express app that basically will have a HTTP handler that when you make a request to it, it will do this stuff and then respond with that JSON object. So Cores, so that I can build a front end. And make that request from anywhere. Yeah, okay, so we have that get Pokemon function. Now, we're not going to call it when it loads. We're only going to call it when we need it. So I'll have an app that is an Express app. This needs to listen on a port. And then when it's ready to go, we'll just log it out. Listening at http://localhost, and then that specific port. Now, what is that port, you ask? That port is going to be process.env.port. So typically when you deploy a Node.js application, they have this environment variable set. But if it's not set, we're going to put it on port 9999. Yeah, like that. Okay, now I'll say when a GET request comes into this app on slash, we need to respond. So we get in the incoming request, we have the outgoing response, and I'm just going to say res.json with a nice little object where the message is hello world. This should be good enough, honestly. We need to add error handling. There's so much more that we need. I'll go ahead and add that CORS module that I mentioned and that Morgan module. So CORS is going to add the cross-origin resource sharing headers, so any front end would be able to make a request to this backend. And then Morgan is just a middleware for logging. So I'm gonna bring that in. 999. And so to use those middlewares, I can just say app.use. We'll use Morgan. Actually, I think Morgan now requires a format string. There's always so much more code than you think there will be. I have to go look up the Morgan docs really quick. So if we look at Morgan, you can pass in a format string, and this is just nice for debugging because it logs when requests come into our server. This is what we need. Okay. Oh, can I just use dev? Yeah, okay. Here we go, dev. Easy. Oh, sorry. All right, we use CORS. Now, when I start this thing up, it's not going to immediately request the Pokemon. It's actually just going to start an HTTP server. So let's see what happens. Port 9999 is in use. Of course it is. Let's do 4299. There we go. So we have a server listening at 4299. If I go here, it says hello world. Fantastic. Now, I want to create another route that actually requests the Pokemon. So here I'm going to say vivid voltage, because that's the name of the set that I'm requesting. So let's do this. So when a request comes into Pokemon/vivid voltage, that's when I want to call this function. And right now, this function is just logging, but it actually just needs to return the array of cards, like that. So now what I can do is when a request comes in, we'll just get the Pokemon cards. So we'll say cards equals get Pokemon. This is an async method, so we need to await it, right? Because it has to make the request to the website, scrape out the data, and then return it. So we're like, hey, wait for that to happen. Then once we have it, we'll just return it. And just like that, we have an API. So I can make a request to this server /Pokemon/Vivid Voltage. That's going to scrape the web page, get the data out, and then send it back to me as JSON. So now I'll need to restart the server. And now, moment of truth. If I do /Pokemon/Vivid Voltage, yeah, I should try catch it. I need error handling. There's all kinds of stuff I need, but this video is too long already. So I can make the request there. And it works. So I get back the name of the Pokemon, I get the image URL, and the price. Beautiful, beautiful, beautiful. Thank you everyone for watching. I'll push this code to GitHub, and in a future video, we'll potentially spend more time making it better. But that's web scraping. Web scraping in a nutshell with Node.js. Thank you all for watching. Thank you all for watching live. Shout out to all the people that are here, right now. And everyone just say bye, YouTube. Bye, YouTube. See ya. Okay. Did someone just say woke? I really need to go, but I also need to open Pokemon cards. Sorry, I was dealing with work. Oh, we were playing Clash of Code just a second ago. We're not doing that anymore. All right, I'll be back in 2 seconds. I gotta open 2 packs of Pokemon cards, then I'm gonna go to work. And thank you all for oh, what happened? Oh no, wrong thing. Thank you all for being here. I'm frazzled. Take the day off? No, I have a client meeting I have to go to. Okay, back in 1 minute with actually I don't have to go that far. I'm gonna open 2 packs of Vivid Voltage. Right back. Here we go. Okay. Yes, this is the end. First of all, if you missed it earlier, I drew Pikachu. There he is. I used thank you everyone, appreciate you. I used this How to Draw Pokemon book. I'm learning how to draw. Okay, but we have 2 packs of Vivid Voltage. So this is the specific expansion that we just extracted the data for. We're gonna open one up. Let's open up this Celebi. Murdoch, if you need code cards, I got you. DM me. I'll send you like 20 code cards. Okay. So the trick is we take the top 4, 1, 2, 3, 4, and that card right there is the rare card in this specific pack. So that's going to be the last one that we look at. So we're going to put it there. Now we're hoping for good stuff, and thank you, Sadie, for those 100 bits. All right, so we've got Blitzel, we've got Slugma, Beldum, Milcery, Wooper, Psychic Energy, Stone Energy, Shuckle, Cramorant, a reverse holo of a Toucannon, which is actually a reverse holo rare, and for the rare. Yes! Oh my god, I don't have this card! Yeah, okay. I'm excited, very obviously, but I actually just bought the Alakazam V box. It's a promo. I did not think I was going to pull this card. This is a full art. It's a full art Alakazam V. Come on. Come on. And actually, it's a really interesting fact. Okay, I've collected myself. Alakazam V actually did not have a card in Pokemon for the longest time because there was like a magician, a mind-reading magician that sued Pokemon because this Pokemon was holding the spoons. But heck yeah! Heck yeah! All right. Here's what we're gonna do. Yeah, someone asked how much does that card cost? Well, we just built a little API, so we can look it up. I don't know how accurate or how updated the data is for that API, but if we just search this list for Alakazam V, that card is worth $9.05. That's fantastic. Let's go to TCG Player really quick, though. Alakazam V. Yeah, it's a oh, that's why, yeah. So there's only a full art version in Vivid Voltage. This is a really rare card. I needed this card. I'm excited. All right, we're gonna open one more pack. Is it gonna be as awesome? Who's to say? Who's to say? Heck yeah. All right, here we go. A pack, the going price is $4.19. That's like market price, but these specifically came out of an ETB, an Elite Trainer box, and that comes with 8 packs. The ETB costs $40, so it's roughly $5 a pack, but you also get a lot of extra stuff in the ETB. But yeah, all right, one more pack. Can we top Alakazam V? It's very unlikely. I've opened enough Pokemon cards to know that what you just witnessed is very, very lucky. Okay, here we go. All right, we got Nincada, Pikapek, Poochyena, Rockruff, Blitzel, Fire Energy, Matang, Mightyena, Beauty, reverse holo of a Galarian Berserker. This is also a reverse holo rare, so we actually got 2 rare reverse holos. And for the rare, a Dreadnought. This is dollar store Blastoise. This is like the new Blastoise. That's fine. It's still a fun card. But look at that Alakazam! Look at him! Alrighty, everyone. I do have to go. We're gonna raid. If you're just joining me, I write code. I don't always open up Pokemon cards. But what we're gonna do now, and actually Let's look up the value of this. This dreadnought is worth 25 cents. But yeah, we're gonna raid. Check out the raid messages here. If you're a sub, this is your raid message. You too, QuantaScript. Thank you everyone for hanging out today. We did a lot of fun stuff. We played Clash of Code. We implemented parts of a linked list. We scraped a website. Yeah, and so what's interesting is Limitless TCG actually is listing the prices from TCG Player, but what I like about Limitless TCG is their images are just HD, like the actual image embeds of the cards are so high quality compared to TCG Player. I don't know. Yeah, it was a fun day. We got stuff done. Join us in the raid. I don't know where we're going to go, but wherever we go, drop a follow if you like what they're doing. Show them lots of love, all that good stuff. Wherever you are in the world, have a wonderful morning, afternoon, evening, or night. And until next time, here's this.